Okay, hey, good morning. This is Sam, the Frugal Hugel gardener. I'm going to give you guys a treat today. I'm going to give you a banana tour. I've been harvesting some racks and some hands of bananas lately, and I've been bracing them up because the bananas are getting too big and too heavy. And I'm going to start with this one in back of me because the male bud, the female bud, the blossoms, the stalk is huge. I could imagine the size of the rack that's gonna happen over here. How many hands to the rack, how big they're gonna be. So anyway, with that said, let's take a tour and see what I got going on with banana plants. Okay, so right over here you can see that this is a massive, big and round parent plant going all the way on up. And right over here, look at the size of this stalk coming out all the way down. And over here you see the female blossoms with pollinators on them. They're turning into bananas, and the pollinators are pollinating them. And right over here, look at the size of this male. Actually, this is the female bud because there's bananas coming out of it. Once this goes all the way down, it'll become a male bud and just male blossoms. But look at the size of that. It is massive. Excuse me, but I'm so excited about that because the roundness of that stalk is just massive. The size of that bud is huge. This is going to be a great rack. I can't wait to bring it to you. So with that said, let me start on the end there. We'll take a little tour and show you some bananas that are actually producing really nicely. Okay, so with everything, I got to get all the way in here and move stuff. So instead of me being the video, I'm going to focus on the bananas. Okay, so right up in here, as you can see, I got some Orinoco. Look how round and plump they are. These are getting ready to harvest here soon. They're just, look how round. They're just nice and plump. I'm loving those. So let's go around this way. I'm taking a look as I go. I might miss some. They're in here somewhere. I'm going to look up above to see if there's any more stalks. And here we go. Right up in here, this is another Orinoco. You can see where it comes out, down. Look how nice and plump they are. They're starting to round. And pretty soon, I got to keep checking these. Pretty soon, these are going to start to yellow, and I'll have to harvest those. So that's looking good. Let's go down this way. Okay, right over here, you can see some pollinators here flying around. That's like a nice bumblebee right there. I love to see those on there. And there's another wasp, but they're getting the pollen. Those are male I don't like to see those wasps looking at me like that because he's in the stinging mode. He's looking right at me, and when they're like that, they'll sting you. So he just chased that bee out of there. But anyway, that's a male blossom. That's a male bud. Those are male blossoms. They're not going to turn into bananas, but I'm leaving them there just so the pollinators can pollinate those and go all the way to my other plants. Boy, those wasps are chasing the other bees out. But if you follow this up, right over here, these here are praying hands. Look at the size of these right here. Nice, big praying hands. They're nice, they're plump. They still got more to go. They got more to ripen. But you can see what the praying hand looks like up there. It looks like a hand praying. Almost looks like a baseball glove too. Catcher's mitt. Okay, so with that said, let's go down. Ooh, right up over here. Wow. Look at that. I thought the other one was big. Holy cow, look at this one here. Let me get way up here. Okay, you can see the pollinators right over here. They're working the blossoms right there. You can see the bananas coming out of the female bud. Look at the size of that bud. Look at all those pollinators. And I'll go up higher. Look at the size of those bananas coming out of the female bud up there. And holy cow, look at the size and thickness of that stalk. Wow, I started this video off showing you a stalk that was massive. This one here is double that size. Wow. So let me extend my tripod up, my monopod, and get up high so you can have a close-up. Okay, so let's start down in here. Look how wide that parent plant is, going all the way up over here. Nice wide plant, going all the way up, right up there to that stalk. Look how wide and fat that stalk is. Holy cow. Now following that stalk and the flag leaf all the way down, let's get in here. Take a look at some of those bananas that are coming off of it. You got the pollinators around. And look at the size right here of that female bud. Holy cow. That is massive. Look at that. Okay, so I'm definitely excited about this one. I can't even say how thick that is. That is like one of the thickest. That is like one of the thickest stalks I've seen coming out of a banana plant over here. Wow. And going down to a massive size female bud, which has the female blossoms in it, that are turning into all those hands that are going to turn into a rack. Wow, I can't wait to see that in a couple of weeks. So with that said, let's continue. I almost just want to stay here and look at that. Holy cow. I'm loving it. Wow, wow, wow. But we have to move on, so let's take a look and see if I can find any more up in here. Okay, this is the one I started off with. You can see all the pollinators. You can see that nice stalk coming out over here with the female bud and the bananas on there. That's looking good. Okay. So let's go down. There's always bananas hidden in there. They're hard to see. I can see some on the other side. We'll get over there in a little bit. Okay, here's one right here. Oh, I didn't see this the other day. Look, there's a rhizome coming out. And here's some bananas. It was hiding. Those are bad. I got to come over here and cut that off and chop and drop it. That way all the energy could go to the rest of the plant. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. That's a bummer. Sometimes that happens when you got a whole bunch. You know, I have hundreds of plants, And sometimes they blend in so good. I think I'm going to start marking them with some red tape or red flags or something. So here's a male blossom with pollinators on them. That's why I leave the blossom, because I want the pollinators to enjoy. Now going up, you can see this is praying hands. Look how nice the praying hands are. They still got to get bigger and plumper, but that's a nice rack of praying hands up there. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. You're seeing it as I see it. Okay, so what I do is I take braces like that, and I brace up my banana plants so this don't come and weigh it down and break the banana plant. But here you go. Look at all these pollinators on this one. It's amazing how I don't get stung when I come in here. But look, they're just enjoying their morning, collecting all that pollen. They're going to take that back and turn it into honey. But this is a real nice hand too. There's one, two, so this is a real nice rack too. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's 10 on there, which is nice. This might be 11. Yeah, that looks like it's going to turn into bananas there. Okay, so that one looks nice. Okay, so let's go ahead slowly. I'm going to get some red ribbon and tie. Oh, look at this one right up here. Let me extend this out so you can see up there. But look at this one up there. Wow, that's a huge one too. But I'm going to put red ribbon so I don't miss any more banana racks. Okay, so I'm going to get up and close to this. It's up pretty high. So right over here, you can see the female bud. You can see the female blossoms, and hopefully you can see where it's coming out of the plant up there. I'll try to get up in there. Hopefully you can see that right there. Look how big and thick that is. It's all looking good. Okay, wow. That just popped out. I didn't even see that the other day. It's probably hiding behind a leaf, and now I can see it. So let's continue the tour. That one's looking great. Okay, so there that is. You can kind of see how big that one's going to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Looking for more up in here. Okay, right up over here, in here, you can kind of see, here's a male bud. We'll follow it up. That's the praying hands. Get up in here, and you can see it goes on up that way. It looks really nice. Okay, let's back out. Let's go around. Okay, right up over here, got a nice stalk coming out. The flag leaf is right here. You see this is a flag leaf, and out of the flag leaf over here is the female blossoms. That's going to be bananas coming out. Whoops, and right up in here hiding. Okay, no male bud on that. I'll pull it off. But right in here. Okay, you got a rack of bananas. the flag leaf, and everything's looking good. I'm going to put a flag on that. Okay, here's the other side of that praying hands I was showing you, right up over here. Okay, going slow. I don't want to miss anything. Look at the size of this leaf. Wow. You know you could cook on these leaves over here. I don't really do it, but you can. Okay, going all the way up. I'm looking everything over. Oh, look at this one right in here hiding. Okay, so right up over here. Okay, we'll start down here. There's the female blossom. Look how big that is. It's probably 2 foot long. Look how big that is. Probably 2 foot long. And look at it going up. That's nice. That is going to be a really nice rack. Okay, right over here you got the male bud. You got pollinators on them. And you got the rack of bananas happening. I already went ahead and braced this one up on a video, but you can see how nice that is. Right there. Ooh. And right over here next to it is... Here's a female blossom, still giving off bananas. Got a lot of pollinators on it right now. So those are female blossoms turning into bananas. And these over here are already out. These are bananas. They're square. See, they're square. They're thin. There's a bunch of them. This whole thing together is called a rack. Those are the hands. And it's producing more hands. It's going to come down further. It's going to produce more. And in a few months, this here is going to be a nice rack of bananas. I got to brace that up so it don't pull the plant down. And I need to tag it so I don't lose track of it. Although, how can you lose track of that? It's so big. But you do, because they're hard to see when there's a lot of green. Okay, coming right over here. Here we go. Let's move this. You got a male blossom. Got some pollinators on it. Going on up. You got praying hands over here. Just to give you some size, here's my hand. That's pretty big. There's a bunch of them. That's a rack. Going all the way around like that. And all the way up the plant. Okay. So I gotta tag that, and I gotta prop it up. I need to get some more PVC or some bamboo. If anybody's got any bamboo, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the other section and show you more. But you can see I have these propped up with bamboo. I'm planting bamboo plants around the property, but it's going to take like 2 years for them to get 1.5 inches thick so I could prop them up. Like these right here are about a little over 1 inch thick, perfect size. So I've been using PVC pipes. So hey, if anybody's got bamboo growing, I'll come over your house and cut them. I could really use them. So contact me below and let me know. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's go look at some more. Okay, so right over here is a rack of bananas. Got the male blossom over here with a lot of pollinators working it. Boy, look at them. They're in the first thing in the morning, they're all just real busy, and there's all different types of pollinators on there right now. But anyway, that goes on up to the rack and the hands. This is looking good. Coming around this way, right over here, I don't think I could get up there, but you can see the female blossom right there. Can you see that? That's coming out. There's nothing to it right now, but that female is going to put out female blossoms, bananas, and start coming down. I'm going to tag it. We'll keep track of it. But this is what it looks like coming out right there. Right there. Okay, so behind me over there, I got to go around. You can see I got my pond there, but you can see all those white PVC pipes. Well, they're propping up bananas. So let's go over there. It's going to be a little close quarters, but let's take a look and see what everything looks like. Okay, let's start on the outside and work our way to the inside. So right over here, you got a nice stalk coming out. You got the flag leaf. This is a regular leaf. Okay, you can see where the stalk comes out. You can see where the flag leaf is. Right up over here, this is a female bud. Inside the female bud, there's going to be female blossoms. They're going to turn into bananas. And this here is going to be a nice little rack. So now I gotta look down when I walk. I didn't weed eat this, but I'm wearing my boots, but there could be a snake in here, so I look to see if anything's moving as I walk. Okay, so right up over here, we got a flag leaf right over here, and we got a stalk, which comes down to some really nice bananas right up in here. They're nice and plump. They're gonna get bigger, they're gonna get plumper. And then right over next, and then down there is the male bud, and it still has blossoms on it, so I'll leave it. Right over here is the male bud with blossoms. Then right up over here, there's praying hands, and two different types right next to each other. Let me work my way around. So here you can see more of the praying hands. Whoop. Okay, you can see more of the praying hands right there. Excuse me, I got the bees flying around me. Now, let me work my way around and see what we got. Okay, right over here, male blossom. You got praying hands right over here. It's a small plant, small hands. Now this one right over here, it's a male blossom, and you got pollinators on it. You got a little rack on it. Okay, let me work my way around. Okay, right over here. Okay, right over here, once again, you got the flag leaf, you got the stalk, you got the bananas over here. They're kind of, I'll have to get them out from over there. But I need to prop this up, so I'll leave it for now. And you got the male blossom down here with pollinators on it. Look at the way that's hiding in there. I gotta mark that. Okay, coming over this way, right here, a male blossom. Going on up to some bananas over here, right here. So let's get on in here and see what we see. Look how they just hide in here. Okay, what do I see when I come in here? Well, there's a male blossom there's a bunch of nice sized bananas. Look at that. Look how big those bananas are. They got to get a little thicker, but that's really nice up in there. And we got to go around to the other side, but look, there's some hiding in there. Oh! Okay, sorry about that. All of these pollinators started swarming me, so let me get back over here. Okay, all these pollinators started swarming me. But anyway, here's a nice little rack up here. And let me get down in here. Here's a rack of bananas. It's coming off of this tree. There's more in there. Let me come around this way. Okay, these right here, they're turning yellow. You see that yellow? Okay, these I'm going to have to harvest over here. So I will go ahead and do that. This is actually a plant that fell down. I propped it up, but since it's turning yellow, this here right here, I need to go ahead and harvest it. It's doing no good, so I'm going to come back out and harvest this in a little bit over here. Okay, coming down over here, here's a male blossom with pollinators on it. There's another rack of bananas right there. Right over here is a male blossom with pollinators looking at me. Here's a nice little rack right up over here, and pollinators are buzzing my head right now. Let me try to get around these. They're just getting their honey, and they haven't stung me, but they're flying around my head. Okay, so right up over here is some more pollinators working a male blossom, and I got some bananas right over here. That's a rack. Let me work my way out over here. I feel trapped. Okay, I'm looking down for snakes, and I'm coming out. This is where I just harvested one the other day. Here's a nice little rack. They're real nice and plump. Pretty soon those will be ready to harvest. Right over here is a male blossom. Coming up to some bananas. These are a little sunburned, but these are all going to go ahead and start yellowing pretty soon. And let me see what else is hiding in here. Okay, right over here, got a male blossom, got pollinators on it. It's coming up over here to a rack. There's some more hiding in there. And that's going up. Okay, right over here is a male blossom. It's coming up to a little rack. Let me turn and look. See if there's any more in here. Okay, I'm looking up high because sometimes I miss what's coming out. Okay, right over here is a male blossom. Here are some praying hands. They got a ways to go. That plant's leaning over. It's being held with that, so I got to prop that up. And then coming right over here, here's a male blossom right here. Got some pollinators working it. Some of them just flew. But you got banana hands and a banana rack going all the way on up. Okay, so you got the point. Here's a rack. There's bananas on it. There's another rack. I just showed you around. Got to harvest some over here. Got to harvest some down there. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other ones I got. We got to walk around the lake, so let's go. Okay, so right over here are my sugar canes that I planted. You remember I planted those? They were just like real little. They're doing well. That's what they're looking like right now. I built this wall around. This is all going to be sugar cane. So right over here is my sugar canes. They're getting thick. They're getting big. They're growing nice stalks coming out. We'll see what happens to those pretty soon. Okay, so these are all my ice cream banana plants. Let's check them out. You can see on the bottom, that's a lot of the Mexican sunflower that I chopped and dropped. And this is all Mexican sunflower I need to cut down and chop and drop. But let's see what's on these. Okay, here we go. Coming on this side, I don't know if you can see it, it's hidden in there. Let me go around this way. Right up over there, you have a female bud coming out. Let me go around. Okay, hard to see, but there's a female bud coming out right over there on the stalk. Right over here, you got a male blossom, and you got some ice cream bananas on a rack. Right up in here, you got a male blossom with pollinators coming on up. You got a nice little rack of ice cream bananas right up in here. Now, these are all young plants. I just planted those not so long ago. Okay, coming around this way, you got a male blossom. Got some pollinators on that side. Got the rack up above. These are ice cream. And let's go around this way. Okay, right up in here. They're not ready yet. They're starting to get round, but those are ice cream bananas on the rack. Got the male right down here. Okay, let's go around this way. Okay, right up over here, you got the male blossom right there. I just scared some pollinators away. You got the rack. Okay, so let's go take a, those are my ice cream bananas. Now let's take a look at my blue Java ice cream banana plants, the type with the knuckles. Let's go. Okay, so these are my blue Javas. If you recall or look at a video down below, I imported some corms. I sliced the corms up into 4s and I propagated those in the house. They started growing. I moved them outside and planted, I hardened them up on my porch, and then I moved them out here and I planted them, I think in March, and we're in September now. Look how big they are. These will be giving off blue Javas in the spring, hopefully not in the middle of the winter. So I already harvested pups off of this one, but there's more pups coming in. Right over here is a blue java. I harvested all the pups along the front side here, which now there's more pups coming in, but look how nice and wide the parent plant is looking. And right over here I harvested all these pups, and I had to cut the leaves off because this plant here tipped over, so I put it back up and it's giving off pups. If you look for the video below, the one with the blooper in it in the title, when I was cutting off the pups, I wet the bottom and it made it too wet, and when I was cutting them off, because I cut the roots, it toppled over. Well, I put it back up and I held it with PVC and rebar with strings, watered it good, and it's coming back and it's producing pups. So you could always save them. Okay, so here's a blue java. I got pups all the way around it. I got to start cutting some of these off. Here's a blue java. See the blue java over here. There's a lot of pups on this. I got to start separating some of those pups. Right over here's a blue java. I took some pups away, but there's more pups. There's 2 parent plants. Everything's looking good. So these are my blue javas. I got to separate more pups. They got some more growing to do. But if you recall, I planted them in March, right around April. And some of them actually in April. So they did a lot of growing in a short period of time. I hope they don't start producing until the spring when things are warmer. I just really don't want them to produce in the winter. So let's take a look at some of the pups I already separated. Okay, so right up in here, these are all blue java pups that I separated. I got them under 30% shade cloth. The shade cloth puts shade over them. I got a PVC pipe making a tent out of it. You can see that they're growing and they're shooting off all new leaves. These will be ready to plant pretty soon. I'm just letting the root ball grow on them. So when I first separated them, this is what I do. It gives the roots a chance to grow and get in that pot, and then I plant them when they're that young. Sometimes when I remove the larger ones, the roots are so good I just plant them. We're going to look at those in a second. But right over here, these are some other varieties. These are ice creams over here, and these right down here are ice creams as well. They're just a younger version. And then right up in there, those are all my sweet potatoes. So let's go. So plane up above. Okay, so if you recall, a few months ago, I dug a nice trench over here, filled it in with compost, and I went ahead and separated some ice cream bananas, and they were the large ones, and I planted them here. I cut all the leaves off because of the wind. I held them up with PVC pipe and string. They took. They're looking good. They're producing pups of their own right now. So that's a nice pup coming out of it. And that's the plant, and you can see it has a lot more leaves on it. And coming over to this one over here, got a nice pup coming out. This pup here looks like it's a water sucker, but that's okay. I like those too. And this one here is looking good up on top. It's making new growth. It's all about being patient. But now that these are planted, I want to go ahead and plant more going all the way down this bed that I planted. So I got to get in there this winter and weed, fill it in with some more compost and chips, and by spring I'll be planting more. This would be a whole row of banana plants. Okay, so right up over in here, let me cut this off. I want you to see this. Okay, so right down in here, these are rotting. You see all these fruit gnats flying all around. So I'm going to cut this off. And they smell too. Those are bananas. I'm going to have to start marking them with tape so I don't lose any. So I'm just going to throw that right down on the bottom. But, whew, get away. I want to cut this one down and chop and drop it. That way the energy could focus on the other ones. Okay, so I went ahead and cut that one out. I chopped it, dropped it. So let's go down the other end. And I'm going to harvest that other banana rack and chop and drop it. Okay, so right over here, this is the rack on the plant that fell over the other day. Even though I put these supports in and lifted it up, the plant is yellowing, and so is the rack. Time to harvest it and bring it in the house and cut down the plant. So now you can see I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. Let me cut this bottom off, and let me cut the top off. Okay, so that's coming in the house with me. So, okay, so that didn't take much. As soon as I removed this PVC, it just all fell to the ground. It exposed this one. So I'm going to take this with me, and I'm going to hold up another rack somewhere. But I want to cut this one down. Well, I should say chop and drop it. Okay, so let's go this way. Okay, so I got this right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring this rack in the house. They're plump. They're semi-round. It's going to yellow. They'll be good for the freezer and my shakes. And I'm ending this video right over here by a little rack, or a good size rack. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed my banana tour. If you did and you want to see more of them as they progress and how I handle them or handle any situation that comes up, you got to give me a like. Otherwise, I'm not going to know you like these kind of videos, so I could bring you some more. Come on over to my Facebook page, coming on over to my Facebook group, Sunshine Harvest Edibles Gardening Group. Sign up. It's free. We got good members on there. We post a lot. I post a lot more on there than I do on YouTube, because it's harder to make videos than it is just taking photos. So you'll see me post a lot of these bananas where I make shakes out of them, where I put them in the freezer and stuff, where I usually don't make videos on that. So with that said, hope to see you soon.